Take one. Action.
Well, I'm Avery Wilton. As Logan introduced me, I am a cinematographer here in Ottawa, Ontario, also beyond, in Montreal, Toronto, those areas.
Well, I guess we can kind of segue off of the whole feature conversation to Chasing Light.
Oh, that's
Absolutely.
true. That's true.
I wrote a little something that I prepared for you, buddy.
Oh, okay.
But no, so earlier in January,
Yeah.
was it your first feature that you shot?
Absolutely. So Chasing Light was the first feature film that I shot, and it was one whirlwind of a production, and we had prepped for, I think it was 10 months beforehand. Me and the director were doing camera tests, we're doing shot listing, we're thinking about everything that's going to be on camera for the cinematography side, the art, and yeah, production hit, flew by. Then we took it into post. He took it into post for, I think it was about a year, and then we got it composed, scored, picture locked. Everything was done. And
when was principal photography?
Principal photography was in, oh my goodness. So that wasn't last year. That was the year
2023.
Yeah, that was so principal photography was August to September of 2023.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Wow.
Okay.
it takes a long time to make something.
Because 2025, it came out in January,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah. Like the
Can I fact check that real
Yes.
quick? Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I actually, just because things have flown by.
Okay. While you do that, Amazon Prime, Chasing Light. It's about a boy who loses his memory, and he has to piece it back together, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the general synopsis of that. And then I mentioned it earlier when we met up, but if you check out the film's IMDb page, the top comment is beautiful cinematography.
Oh, and that's awesome, man.
It talks about how good the film looked.
Yeah,
So,
no, I
that's
appreciate
incredible.
that, and man, so it is. Yes, I did confirm that. So 2023. When we think about the amount of time, Travis, the director, wrote it in 2022.
Wow.
So for him, you think about how long
Yeah.
he's been thinking about this idea, and he told me he's been thinking about the idea for even longer. So you think about how
This is
long.
a lifelong a lifetime project.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
These things take, and I don't know if people, who aren't in the industry really do realize how long these, especially in the indie world, they're really labors of love. How long these take, because you're working towards that goal, and you don't have that budget to be able to reshoot something if it goes wrong. So everything has to be planned to a T so that it goes well, and everything just takes a very long time. But in the end, it's worth it. Would I do it again the same way that we did it? Absolutely. I think for the budget that we had, the crew, the cast, everyone was absolutely wonderful. We knocked it out of the park, I think. I'd like to say that, and it's really cool, like you mentioned the IMDb, when it got released, to be able to see people's reactions to the film in writing and have people write about it. And for some of the top comments to be pointing out my work, that meant the world to me. That meant, it was reassurance that I could actually do this, as not, we all have those doubts, those all cross our mind, but for me it was a real big confirmation of okay, it's not just me, it's
not the delusion.
it's not, you that's another conversation. You kind of have to be delusional, thinking that it's very competitive and all that, but it was a reassurance that was very nice to hear. And it made me quite emotional actually reading those, because for people who aren't in the industry to to recognize the love that went behind the cinematography as well, meant the absolute world to me, because when you're recognized for that amount of work that you put in for something, it just makes you smile, and it makes you feel good because people see you feel seen for what you did.
Yeah, people resonate with it.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
yeah,
that actually goes back to what you were saying about like changing people's lives. for the
absolutely.
better, like-
Exactly. Perfect example. Yeah.
yeah, and on your first feature too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
You should be proud, man.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I appreciate
you
it.
went.
Yeah.
Good luck going up from here, bro.
Good luck.
I know you got it. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
we know you got this,
I
but that's
appreciate
crazy.
you guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. So it'll, the Canadian audiences, stay tuned. It'll
Right.
we'll be able to,
release it.
yeah, you'll be
Watch
able to
party.
view it soon. So
Yeah, and shout out to Travis. Maybe we'll have him on sometime.
yeah, hey,
Who knows?
yeah, he's a great guy, and I'm sure would love to connect and chat more. Yeah,
You could
absolutely.
even have you both on, just going through the process of chasing light, since it was such a long.
it's true. There's a lot to
Lots
break
of-
down on
yeah.
that
Yeah,
one.
I can
I'm
Absolutely,
very curious. So
do a whole
Yeah.
episode on that. To be honest,
I would,
That's-
we'd
I
love
want to
that.
pick your brain about one thing.
yeah.
One of my least, because when I was in school, I did shorter projects and stuff. But one of my least favorite parts
Mhm.
of pre-production
Yeah.
was like shot listing and storyboarding, dude. Even for like projects I shot that were like 5 minutes.
yeah.
Oh my god, I hated it.
Bro, oh my God.
And to do a feature and
Yeah.
meticulously have everything so you don't miss something, and then
Yeah.
Yeah. So
how was that?
let me expand on that part for
Okay.
you. So, me and Travis, we met in December. It was January 2023. We started
22.
December 2022, January 2023.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
So that year. And oh my goodness. Yeah. So we met, and I signed some contracts, signed some papers, and then we really jumped right into pre-production. So we started talking about the look. And this is something, again, I could do a whole episode on how important pre-production is, but for me and the director to be on the same page visually is one of the most important aspects of a successful production, in my opinion, right? So for me to be able to bring my artistic values, but then also from a technical standpoint, bring the director's vision to life, it's nothing short of a miracle when two people are like so connected that they're of one mind, that they can see the same shot, the same lighting, the same everything. And that's
There's no
what
disconnect.
exactly. And that's what pre-production is meant to do, is to bring those minds together so that you're kind of thinking as one, right?
Right.
So in early stages, there's a lot of mood boarding, a lot of back and forth of like, okay, what's the look, what's the tones, the color palettes, and using vocabulary too, right? Like you can sit down with someone, say, what do you want? I do this a lot. I'm like, what do you feel when you think about your project? What do you want the audience to feel? You write those words down, associate that with feelings, and then you start to get vivid imagery, and then you can kind of hone in on your look from there.
Right.
So it's a very like top level, very high level, and then you kind of work your way down from there to the specifics, right?
Yeah.
So we knew we wanted it to be spherical, relatively clean, very saturated and kind of vibrant color palette. We're working with a lot of stuff like picture cars that were, one of our picture cars was bright orange. So we had like a very 70s, 80s kind of aesthetic with, that colorful clothing and all that stuff. So we wanted to represent that. And then once we hone in on that, that's very important to for our shot listing, because that influences how you shoot the film, is how it's going to look, right? So you're always coming back to that, being like, okay, are we actually landing in this area, or is some of our camera movements or whatever's not motivated towards the mood board? Does it fit? Exactly. Does it fit the vibe? Are we doing something that's off? And so shot listing, we would have, I would say it was about 6 or 7 months of 2 to 3 times a week. We would hop on a online meeting, so on a Zoom or whatever, and we would sit down for 2 to 3 hours, and we would go line by line. It was a 90-page script.
Wow.
Line by line. And I think, correct, I don't know the exact number, but I want to say we had about 500 to 600 shots on our shot list.
Holy
Holy shit.
wow!
So
bro.
meticulously, every line, everything, we were on the exact same page. The blocking we would talk
Every
about.
single millisecond.
Every single second
you
was
see on
accounted
screen.
for.
Wow.
That is crazy.
That is, yeah.
Because that, at that level of budget, of indiness, we could say.
Indiness.
Oh
my God!
Yeah, I was just gonna
Big
Yeah.
At that level, you need to be so meticulous with your time and your energy and efforts and the budget. Where's the budget going, right? So you have to be so meticulous. For everything has to be accounted for, right? From the props we're seeing, from what the people are wearing, where anything, art department, what are the blocking? So we had discussed blocking beforehand, and then from that, what I usually do is I take them all that information and make my own diagram so that I can see from a top-down view, where the blocking is, where each actor's moving, where every single light's going to play in the scene. So I had, I think we had I can't remember, 96 scenes or something like that. So I did 96 different diagrams.
Setups.
Exactly.
Right.
That
Oh my
was
God.
where each and every shot in the room was going to be, where each light had to be at each specific setup.
Where the actors are.
Exactly.
in
Where the
location.
blocking was going to be based on what we discussed.
Did
right?
you have your locations back then too, locked in as well?
So we had general ideas of our locations, but then as the shot list developed, we went on tech scouts and did our location scouts and actually knew, okay, this is where the scene's going to happen, and that did help a lot. But in the early stages, we didn't even know where those locations were going to be. We know the general layout. Okay, this is the living room we want, is the windows are on this side or whatever, right? We knew kind of generally what we would like, but no, we didn't have any in-depth information on locations until we kind of moved a bit further along with pre-production, right?
Yeah, but I think it's nice that you didn't kind of box yourself in,
Yeah.
knowing, okay, we have to shoot here,
Yes.
and then work around that.
Absolutely.
You were like, this is
Yeah.
what we want to see, and then find locations based on that.
Exactly.
Keeps it
Yeah.
open.
And that's a luxury we had. We had so many locations, which was incredible. You think about people talking about indie stuff, and it's really just one actor, 2 locations, or 2 actors, 1 location, 1 house, whatever, right? Something simple, keep things. But we wanted to be ambitious. We wanted to show people, hey, we can fucking do this, right?
Yeah.
So we had about, maybe around 10 locations. We had, extras in some scenes. We had, we worked with kid actors. We worked with, the spectrum was all over the place. We shot in an actual hospital. We shot in churches. We shot in motels. We shot in a house. We shot in a library. We were all over the map, and we wanted to show, hey, this is what we can do with this budget, and show everybody. Imagine what we can do with 10x that. Imagine what we can do with, 500,000. Imagine what we can do with $1 million, right? And you see what we did for that amount. And I hope it blows people away that we were able to obtain that kind of level that we strove for. So it was an incredible experience. Yeah.
Even just we haven't seen it. I mean, Rachel and I haven't seen the movie yet, but just the BTS we've seen and all the stuff Travis has shared, it's incredible.
Yeah, literally speechless, man.
If indie filmmaking is a spectrum, you've already passed it. So
I appreciate you.
No,
I
it's
appreciate
It's true.
you.
Yeah, it's true.
yeah.
Yeah,
How was working with kid actors? Did you have, because there's intimacy coordinators and stuff like that on set. Was there what's the word I'm looking for? Another logistical step you had to follow?
So,
because it wasn't unionized.
No, yeah. So yeah, this was a non-union production.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we followed all of the normal protocols that we normally would. But working with kid actors was very interesting. And shout out to Travis. He was an incredible director. Working with kid actors. That was, to my knowledge, that was his first time as well working with kid actors. So working with kid actors, we had a time constraint. Really. So we had them up to 8 hours, and because after that, we didn't want to push the kids too hard. We wanted to keep their days, even 8 hours for 13-year-olds, trying to, keep them concentrated, keep that emotional delivery, especially if it was a heavy day. After 8 hours, they're getting exhausted. They're losing focus. But we got blessed with Leo. Oh my God, this kid was incredible. He learned, he knew his lines. You could ask him, I swear to God, you could ask him a page and be like, what's your line on page whatever?
Wow.
He was incredible. And he was not correcting, but politely telling the other actors when they forgot their lines, what their lines were.
What?
And he blew me away. The dude, yeah, he knew exactly, he was really passionate. He was really on the ball about everything. So again, it was just we lucked out so much with them. And there's a funny story I'll let Travis share about how he ended up on the project. He was one of the first people who had originally reached out. Okay. And yeah, he was such an incredible addition to the cast. But it was difficult working in that 8 hour. We were doing 12 to 14 hour days. So we had to schedule, and whenever Leo was on camera, we had to move. Things had to be quick because we had so much shit. He's our lead. He was not only in the film, he was the lead actor in the film. So we needed to move when there's only certain scenes that were without him, that were between the parents, between, certain adult actors. So when he was on camera, we were like, all right, guys, we just got to be on the ball because we can't waste any time with him. And thankfully his guardians who were there with him, his parents, were very relaxed. Even if we went over 30 minutes, we were just wrapping up a scene. We're like, can we have 30 more minutes? Is that okay? They would absolutely be more than respectful.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it's a challenge, but it can be done. And yeah, it's a totally different workflow. Even for me working with kid actors, you just really have to, treat them with a certain amount of adultness. But there's still a little bit of, they want to have a bit of fun too, right? You got to keep it a little light unless it's a heavy scene. So it's a very interesting balance to strike with, a kid. He's a teen, but yeah. Yeah. So
that goes back to why prep is so important.
Exactly.
If you guys weren't on the ball, the whole thing would have derailed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So, yeah, no, big. He's a star, man. He's an absolute star. So, yeah. Man.
And you gotta I don't know, think of it from his perspective. Mm-hmm. Seeing himself up there, he's 13.
Yeah, 13, man.
The stuff you gotta have if he's already that zoned in and focused.
That's crazy.
He's got his face.
He's gonna go far.
Yeah, I really hope so. He's got some natural talent, and he looked like some people have that star thing about them. They just you point a camera at them and you're like, oh, you're an actor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, you look good, right? Or whatever, right? And he just kind of had that about him. So it was awesome because I just point the camera at the kid anywhere, and it's like, oh, this looks great because Leo's in it. Leo just it's just he Leo. Makes the frame, right?
Oh, that's awesome, man.
So
that's perfect.
Yeah, I hope he it's a project for all of us to remember, and we were all very emotionally, very physically invested in it, and I hope he remembers the experience that we were able to give him on set.
For sure.
As a small, and this is one thing, I'll go on a little tangent about this, but small sets are incredible. That set, we were honestly, I would say we were a family. Oh. So you know, when it came time to wrap out on the last day, it was at that point, it was kind of the key crew. And everyone got emotional on that day. We all shared our thanks for our time and our efforts. And, you know, we had the Corinna, who played the mom in the film. She cooked us dinner one evening, you know, there was probably about 10 of us. She just like full mom mode, just cooked us all dinner and catered for us. And there's so many of these great memories that we all made along the way. And it sounds, you know, corny as hell, but we ended up being so close and such a family, right? And it's your life away from home. You're in the mud with these people for 12, 14, 16 crazy hours. You might as well love the people you work with.
Yeah.
Right. You might as well have, you have to, right?
Yeah.
Like, I would absolutely any day take someone who's an absolute amazing human being, but maybe isn't, you know, the best technically profound, rather than someone who's the opposite. Right. So any day of the week, because that affects what you get so much. And that we kind of got that lightning in the bottle with the crew and cast, was that it felt like a family, and that, you know, we captured that lightning in a bottle, and we're able to now share it with the world.
Yeah. And once you get to the last day, it feels like you blinked and it's over.
Yeah, that's yeah. We were 14 days on that show.
Yeah.
And by day like 10, 11, we're like, oh, we're cruising through this. Like, everything's going really well. You know, you have your hiccups. Sure, there's stuff that happens, that it always does. But then the last day rolls around, and Travis calls cut for the last time.
That's
You're
crazy.
like, wait.
And then, you're looking at one another. You're like, there's no other setup. I don't have to call for anything.
Insane.
And
it just kind of hits you.
And you're, and
Well,
we all went in a circle and just cried.
oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I brought that up was because you said you get so close, and you're like a family, like you said.
Absolutely.
But it's really like with Travis, it's different, you know, pre-production. But the principal photography is like 14 days.
Yeah.
That's like a little over 2 weeks.
Yep.
Around there.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Like some lead room.
Yeah.
But that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
You know, and you're making bonds that will last you life.
Forever.
Yeah.
Lifetime.
Absolutely. Yeah. Bonds that'll last a lifetime. And that's, you know, why it's tough to separate a film and personal life, because a lot of the time they're really intertwined. Right? So a lot of the times you have friends who are in the industry that maybe you hang out outside of work, right? Friends. What's that?
We wouldn't know about that.
Yeah. What are we talking
yeah,
about, right?
we would know.
So it's really interesting. And those people just you think so similar to them that it's hard not to get close with the people you work with, because, you know, you're there. Sometimes I've been on, we've done those sets where you're literally going through the mud together.
Yeah.
You know, you're freezing your balls off, or you're like, you know, you're just sweating or whatever. Like, you're just working so hard. And then you look over and, you know, it's hard not to smile. You see your buddy and you're like, what? How did we get here? Like, what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
the situation we're in right now.
This is crazy. We're making a movie together, and we're sweating buckets or whatever funny things happening or serious thing or whatever. You know,
you're in it together, man.
Yeah, you're in it together.
Ever since joining like the film industry, it's like, and I'm not trying to like discredit like the final products, but like being in the making of the thing, is sometimes more fun than the movie at the end.
I would say the exact same thing.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's his own movie, dude.
It is, girl. Get filming. Get filming that.
And there's all the faces you don't see, like when you watch BTS of like behind the scenes, how we film this, how we film that.
Mm-hmm.
What Digi 60? It was so eye opening.
Yeah, all these people that come together.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No idea.
Yeah,
what they went through together.
Yeah,
it's like that's their thing.
That's
like your film, that set
Yeah.
we could never experience that.
Yeah,
You know, it's just you guys in your little bubble. We could see the movie,
Yeah.
right?
But yeah, that bond. Yeah.
But that experience you guys had,
Yeah, and that's
Gotta
one
cherish
thing. Yeah, absolutely. That's one thing that we all mentioned was like, this is something that we will all remember for the rest of our lives. This was a first for a lot of us, right? That was the first feature that I got to DP, and it was a lot of our firsts, a lot of the actors' first feature that they were in. You know, that wasn't in kind of extra role. They were in some sort of lead role, right? So yeah, it's to be able to share those moments with special people. Man, it's something else, and it's, you know, you get those periods where things might slow down, whatever, you're not on set as much, and like I miss being on set is like it's like a drug almost. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know how to describe it, and I absolutely can't wait every day for me to wake up and be like, okay, I get to go do my job on set now. That is the most exciting day for me, is being able to go on set and do my job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to a crew member about that as well. That just, it's addicting.
No, it is. Filmmaking,
Yeah.
you can get it. You can get addicted to it.
Yeah.
Like that's totally a thing,
Yeah.
right? It's an extreme sport. It's kind of an adrenaline high when you think about it too, right? Like you were just doing overnights and all like be honest, like you're just working off adrenaline at that point.
Yeah,
right?
I had a bit of coffee before, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And I was running off each night, 6 hours, 5 hours.
Yeah.
3 today.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just that I'm just so in it.
Yeah.
So definitely can relate. We all can. So
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago when I AC'd that music video,
Yeah.
I pulled an all-nighter. I didn't sleep.
Yeah, that was crazy.
True.
I wasn't tired until we wrapped.
Yeah.
And then it hit me like a brick.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
How am I going to get home?
Exactly. But the whole time, we started at, I think it was like 8 or 9
Yeah.
p.m. But then I had been up like the whole morning.
Yeah.
Went all the way through the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, we wrapped at like 4 a.m. and I wasn't tired until we were done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Then
wait,
it
if we
hits
had
you,
kept going, my body's just going to collapse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
But absolutely,
totally. So especially, man, overnights are tough. Those are, nobody likes doing that. It's becoming nocturnal, like
it's weird.
It's weird,
man.
Yeah. So my apologies for being a bit quiet.
You're good.
That is why.
We all understand.
Yeah. If you want to plug your socials, but we're really grateful. Logan and I are very grateful to have you on. Just a variety of topics we got to learn about, talk about, and we got to pick your brain about chasing light. Logan
Absolutely,
mainly,
it was an honor.
asking those questions and getting to know you
Those
more.
deeper subjects.
Yeah. Because this is what we made the
stuff.
podcast for, to have conversations. Obviously, just genuine conversations. Obviously we have, specific questions we'd like to ask and
Fun
reoccurring,
ones.
fun ones,
Mm-hmm.
reoccurring questions we'd like to ask guests, at least one. But
Absolutely.
it's genuinely, like I've said the last episode, for the one with you and I and the one with Nana, this is just I want it to be a space for people to, have a platform and just talk,
No, appreciate you guys taking the time to have some good conversation.
Plug your socials.
Yeah, if you aren't following me, follow me, Avery Wilton DOP, on all platforms, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, all platforms. Follow me there, and see you guys around.
Cut. Get out of it, okay?